and welcome to the Monday edition of Talking Football, covering everything happening in the Premier League, and there's so much to talk about. I'm joined in the studio by our football analysts, Ouriel Daskal and Michael Friedman, and we'll talk of Chelsea, who finally got a win and also made one of the biggest transfers of the summer. We'll speak about Manchester City making it 3 out of 3, and we'll look ahead to the match tonight at the Emirates Stadium between Arsenal and Liverpool. All this and much more coming up. Let's get started. We begin with Manchester United, who had a decent start to the season, winning their first 2 matches. But even when they won, it was clear their offense is far from stellar. Same problem in game number 3. No goals were scored at Old Trafford. United losing their first points of the season against Newcastle. Manager Louis van Gaal knows things should look much better up front.
We created a lot of chances. And we only gave 2 chances away. So then you have to win the game, but you don't reward yourself, and that's a pity. It's a big pity at home to lose 2 points.
Ouriel, 7 points out of 9 is fine. 2 goals out of 3 is anything but fine. Something is a problem out there. No Van Persie, nobody came in. What do they do?
Well, first of all, I just understood who Van Gaal reminded me of. The Swedish chef from the Muppets, you know. So,
you're mocking him for his English, I know.
No, it's just, so maybe this chef hasn't got all the ingredients together. Manchester United look much more balanced this season than last season. You know, they have all these guys with big names, Schweinsteiger and Chamberlain and all these guys in the midfield, and they're basically blocking the middle. Very hard to score against them, but they still need someone who can score. Now, it used to be Wayne Rooney, but he's almost 900 minutes without scoring. That's like even longer than Giroud didn't score, you know? So if you're not scoring as well as Giroud, you're in problem because he's not scoring that much. Memphis is a great addition, but I feel, you know, for them to really put on a challenge for the championship, they need a big striker, like a 20-goal season striker.
And Michael, Ouriel is mentioning Wayne Rooney. You wouldn't think a team with Wayne Rooney would have scoring problems, but he does. It's a problem. He has not been scoring for a very, very long time. And
that's what we're seeing in the headlines. The Daily News headlines read, Wayne Rooney frustrated again as Manchester United draws with Newcastle. So Rooney registered a shot on target for the first time this season, but is still without a goal since April. And as you said, a little less than 900 minutes, 858 minutes from all competitions is the goal drought that he's having right now. So the lack of firepower, you know, symbolizes some problems that United is having. And obviously, you know, the manager, Louis van Gaal, he wasn't happy with the offsides call that he believes that Wayne Rooney should have had that goal. So hopefully soon again, everyone will be able to get the goals that they need.
And they lost Van Persie and Falcao. I mean, okay, Falcao is not the is not the greatest scorer right now, but still, they lost 2 strikers.
A prolific scorer that they needed.
No big name came. So while things are a bit shaky on one side of Manchester, they look just great on the other. Man City are currently the only team with 3 out of 3. The Citizens beat Everton 2-0 at Goodison Park. Kolarov and Nasri scoring in the second half for the visitors. Manager Manuel Pellegrini knows it's all about consistency.
The important thing that we are in a new season, that we started playing well the 3 games because we are a consistent team, a solid team, and we can score goals in every game. That's why we scored 8 goals in 3 games and we had 3 clean sheets. It's important, we are just starting the season, to continue so far in the way we are doing.
Ouriel, Pellegrini said it himself. 8 goals in 3 matches, almost 3 per match. And it's not only scoring 3 against Chelsea. You don't win championships by beating Chelsea, but by beating Everton, the Evertons and the West Broms. That's what they're doing.
Well, they didn't do a lot of changes to their squad. You know, we expected them, you know, to throw out a lot of players and to bring in new players, but they kept it together, and for now it works. You know, let's see in 2 months, 3 months, when those old bones are going to start, you know, cracking. I think they still need injection other than, you know, injection of youth and skill other than Raheem Sterling, because that's not enough, I think. But keeping it together. They did extremely well against Chelsea, played extremely great football. I don't think, I can't remember any of that kind of football they played against any other team in the last 5 years. So it was impressive, but it's just the beginning of the season. And Pellegrini reminds me of the eagle in the Muppets, so that's also something.
I would love to know who Mourinho would remind you. That I'd be happy to know. We mentioned Mourinho and Chelsea, and after that big loss last weekend and the doctor drama surrounding it, they were hoping for a victory to pull all that behind. It wasn't easy, but finally the Blues got their first win of the season. 20 minutes, that's all the time Pedro needed as a Chelsea player to score the first goal for his new club, who played away against West Brom. Diego Costa joined the party 10 minutes later, and this may be a very lethal duo. The Blues scored again before the break, but James Morrison, who missed a penalty early on, put a lot of pressure, scoring twice. It was not enough. Chelsea win it 3-2. The big story here is, of course, that of Pedro. The man who was part of Barcelona's golden generation seemed to be on his way to Old Trafford, but then made the move to Stamford Bridge instead. Michael Friedman takes a closer look at one of the big transfers of the summer.
After Chelsea's disappointing start to the season, Jose Mourinho went full throttle to sign more players. The latest major Blues acquisition came last week, Barcelona's forward Pedro. The 28-year-old Spaniard has spent his entire career at Barcelona, winning every major honor at the club. With a £21 million transfer fee, the new Chelsea striker is very excited with his move to England.
I'm very happy to be here. It's an experience for me to play in Premier League, to play with Chelsea. I hope many titles here with this team. In a few time to speak more better than now. It's very difficult for me, but thank you for the club, for the supporters, for this welcome. Very, very, very happy to be here.
As for Mourinho, he has been granted his wish of a grand signing by capturing Pedro. And it didn't take long for the Spaniard to prove himself a pivotal signing after scoring in his debut start for Chelsea. The Blues boss knows what a talented star the forward is and how he hopes he can push Chelsea onward from their disastrous start.
For many years he won everything, playing with Messi, with Iniesta, with all these stars. But he wants more, and I'm really happy with that kind of attitude. He comes to play and to try to win and to try to enjoy, and not on holiday.
While there was a lot of speculation throughout the summer that Pedro would head to Manchester United, Louis van Gaal defended himself and the Red Devils after the media said they lost out to Chelsea.
When you ask me, Pedro, is he fitting in the profile? Yeah, I cannot lie. Then I said yes, but I don't say that I am interested in the player. That's the difference. But you bring it is that I'm interested. No, I answer the question. And that's different.
As Mourinho is looking for his first continental success as Chelsea manager, Pedro can be the spark needed for the defending Premier League champions.
Ouriel, first, do you know who Mourinho reminds you of?
No, I don't. Mourinho, it reminds me of this young, successful manager who coached Chelsea back in 2003.
And then someone came back.
And then someone came back, and he's older and he's bitter.
A few more gray hairs.
So he reminds me of that Mourinho.
Well, having said that, we're all smart now. Pedro scored in his first game, and you think that this is the match that
he scored more than Manchester United's forward line.
Pretty much. And then you ask, how did they not think of this before? And why did then Manchester United bring this guy? That's exactly what they need.
Yeah, well, I don't know about Pedro. I mean, he was a great part of a great team. But can he really succeed on the long term outside Barcelona? Is he not? He fits perfectly to their style of play. I'll find it hard for him. I think he will find it very hard, to cope with the Premier League pressure and the Premier League physical power and speed.
It is a different game.
It is a different game for him, and I think he will have problem adapting.
But it appears he did well so far.
Yeah, so far he did well, because, you know, it's just one game and it's against West Bromwich, and okay, and he was lucky even, but it's just one game. We'll have to see. I'm not really sure Pedro is the right, you know, player to lead Chelsea for Champions League or even Premier League title.
And Michael, there was a lot of emotions around Pedro this summer. The constant rumors, then that crazy goal in the European Super Cup, moving to Manchester, moving to London at the end. What's the press saying about this, and about the possibility of him and Diego Costa being a lethal duo together?
Well, just from his first match, it was fantastic for all the Chelsea supporters. BT Sports headlines read, Pedro makes dream Chelsea debut in victory over West Brom. So Pedro was called, you know, inspiring in his opening match, and it only took him 20 minutes to score, which is very impressive. But besides, you know, just from him scoring, other players around are already glad to see him there. You see that goal headlines featured Hazard saying, "I want to learn from Chelsea new boy Pedro." So the Belgian believes that the former Barcelona forward, you know, his experience will really help shape the team, improve upon the team. And he said, when you play with Chelsea, you want to play with the big players. And he wants to learn. He knows he's still young. And to have a great, inspiring player like Pedro, this is a good key for future success.
So we'll see. Of course, the big test will come when it's bigger teams than West Brom. Here are all of the weekend's results from the Premier League. It only took them 125 years and 3 more matches, but Bournemouth finally have a Premier League win to their name. And what a win! 4-3 at Upton Park over West Ham. Leicester are still undefeated after winning the first 2 matches. This time they drew 1-1 with Tottenham. And one more match will be played tonight when Arsenal hosts Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium. Michael, we speak of that game in a little while, but before that, Bournemouth, 125 years, what a win, and the British press is all on the story.
It's definitely one of the biggest stories in England. The World Game headlines read, Bournemouth seals first EPL win in 7-goal thriller with West Ham. You know, so in the newly promoted squad, you know, they earned a lot of praise, definitely from the new manager, Eddie Howe. He said it means everything. And it was important for them to win, you know, early on, because they know that the further they go along, the harder it will get and the more pressure they'll have. And the team fell short last week against Liverpool in a goal that went against them that actually shouldn't have been.
Dubious goal,
yes.
playing in Anfield.
So it was big news. You know, they've been surrounded.
Well in the first match against Aston Villa as well, but they were unlucky.
And they earned this.
Yeah, Eddie Howe is England's Klopp, as I see it. England's Jurgen Klopp. He's a great manager. You see the team is really coached.
Yeah.
You see them, you know, they're sophisticated, they're disciplined, and they just lack the quality, real quality players, real technical quality to be, you know, like champions.
surely a team to watch. Now to the match tonight, Arsenal hosting Liverpool, 2 teams with big aspirations who have not won the championship in a very long time. Both managers shared their thoughts ahead of the game.
It's for us a very important game where the result will, of course, be vital, but it's not definite. It's not a result really that will decide that. But for us, in our head, we know it's a very important game for us.
Well, it's important. Obviously, you're playing one of the rivals that you're hoping to be competing with at the top end of the table. So yeah, these games are important. They don't. You know, in terms of, they don't give the full picture of how it'll finish up, because you can, you know, draw or lose these games and still go on and achieve what you want to achieve. But of course, it's for the confidence, and psychologically they are important.
Ouriel, Arsenal, I should say, as always, is kind of an enigma to me. They win the Community Shield, they lose at home. They win away, now they host Liverpool. I don't know what to expect this team. A very, very good team, one that could win the title, in my opinion.
I'm an Arsenal fan, and I know exactly what to expect from the team. 4th place finish. And,
hey, it leads to the Champions League.
And yeah,
consistency.
And we'll go to the first round of the Champions League, meet Bayern Munich there, lose, and then
but
maybe
almost
win. Yeah, and you know, nothing changes with Wenger. I think they'll do pretty well against Liverpool, because Liverpool is still a new team. You know, trying to figure out who's who over there. Arsenal around together for a longer time. They're more compact. They're, better organized, I think. And we'll see. Arsenal haven't scored for a long time in the Emirates, in a real competitive match. So it will be interesting.
And shortly, Michael, Liverpool, no Gerrard, no Sterling. How far can they go?
It's gonna be a big matchup tonight. Obviously, they need it. They want to be a top tier, be in the title race. So they could go far.
They want to be fourth place.
And this is
they want to be Arsenal.
If you want to go high, that's a place you should go. Ouriel Daskal, Michael Friedman, thank you very much. We'll see you both tomorrow. And that's it for the Monday edition. Join us again tomorrow to look at all the other big European leagues. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.